Hi guys, it's time for reading. If you have not taken a look at the schedule for this week, we are going to be working on nonfiction for these 4 days that we are in school or at home in school. Last week we did some fiction strategies. We worked on print work, fluency, and comprehension. And now we're going to shift over to nonfiction. We are going to work on something today that we have done before, but it is such an important strategy that it is one we want to revisit over and over and over again because it's something we want to remind ourselves we need to do every time we get ready to read a nonfiction book. So our strategy for today is going to be schema. So if you remember, our schema is everything we know. We spent a lot of time on schema when we were in school together and we were working on nonfiction. We each had our own schema folders. We had charts with all different schema folders on them. And we can remember that our schema are all these tiny file folders inside of our heads. They are folders on every single thing that we know. So in this picture, just some examples. We have folders on sports, vacation, school, dancing, animals, your family, and all of the different subjects that you learn about through reading books and watching videos and people teaching to you and listening and just what you experience in your life. So what we want to do before we read a nonfiction book is we want to activate that schema. We want to think about, what do I already know? So if I'm going to get ready to read a book on spiders, I want to think about, what do I already know on spiders? If I'm going to get ready to read a book on George Washington, I want to think about, what do I already know about him? And then as I read, I'm going to gain new information to add to my schema, to put into that folder, to become a part of what it is that I know about that topic. So we read quite a few books when we were doing nonfiction on the topic of alligators. So I put together a schema folder for alligators, some of the things that we already know as a group about alligators from the books that we read. So we know that alligators and crocodiles are not the same animal. We know that alligators are reptiles. Alligators have a clear eyelid to help them see underwater. That alligators lay eggs. And baby alligators have a special cry so their mother knows where they are. We learned all of this information either from the books that we read or things that we had already known about alligators. So what we're going to do today is we are going to read a nonfiction book about alligators. We have activated our schema. Our brain is already thinking about alligators. We're already thinking about the things that we know. And as we read the book on alligators, we are going to add to this information we already know. We're going to add to our schema. So we're going to head over to Get Epic. I have a book right here all ready to go for us, and it's called American Alligators. What are American alligators? American alligators are the largest reptiles in North America. They are found in the southeastern United States. They live in rivers, swamps, lakes, and marshes. This green area right here, okay, that is where alligators live in the United States, and their conservation status is least concern, which means right now in the United States, they are not endangered. American alligators are strong swimmers. Their long tails and webbed feet push them through the water. This is their long tail, their scutes, and their webbed feet. So I actually had no idea that that's what those little spikes were called. That is brand new information to me. So I'm going to add that to what I already know about alligators. And now I know that those little spikes on the back of an alligator's back are called scutes. On land, they crawl and walk. They can also run short distances. Males usually measure 13 to 15 feet long, and they can weigh 1,000 pounds. Females are slightly smaller. These reptiles have few predators when they are fully grown. The scutes on their backs protect them from attacks. So there's that word again. And I'm seeing that they are actually there as a form of protection. I also did not know that male alligators were that size and that weight. So that's also new information that I'm going to add to my schema. American alligators are carnivores. They eat fish, turtles, and snakes. They also catch birds and small mammals like the ones in this little text feature here. The alligators hunt mainly at night. They stay underwater as they watch for prey. Their eyes and nostrils stick out of the water. They grab their meal with powerful jaws and sharp teeth. Most prey is swallowed whole. Sometimes the alligators hunt larger mammals. They wait for these animals to stop by the water to drink. Then they attack. They pull their meal into the water. Nests, eggs, and hatchlings. In spring, a female builds a nest out of plant sticks and mud. She lays her eggs in the nest, then she covers the eggs with plants to keep them warm. After about 2 months, the babies make noise inside the eggs. Mom digs the eggs out of the nest, and it's time for them to hatch. Names for the babies are hatchlings. Eggs are laid about 35 to 50 at a time. They're inside the egg for 65 days, and they spend about 1 to 2 years with their mom. So I did know that they were called hatchlings. I did know that they spend about 1 to 2 years with their mom, and that she lays about 35 to 50 eggs. I think in the book we read it said 60 eggs, but I did not realize that they spent 65 days inside the egg. So that's new schema for me. I also didn't realize that they made noise inside the eggs. We know that they have a sound that they make when they're outside of the egg, but inside the egg is something I did not know. So that's also new information. The hatchlings are 6 to 8 inches long. Their small size makes them easy prey for birds, raccoons, and other predators. Mom protects her babies while they're young. She even carries them in her mouth, which I also did not know, but that is super cute. All right, so we are going to go ahead and go back to our schema folder, and we're going to add our new schema to the folder, to the information that we already had. All right, so we're going to come back here, present this again. So here was all of our schema that we already had, right? And then we're going to think about, what did we just learn? Right? So we learned more than just these 2 things, but these are the 2 things that I have put onto our folder. Baby alligators spend 65 days in their eggs, and the spikes on an alligator's back are called scutes, and they protect the alligator from prey. So actually, they protect them from predators. We want to change that right there. It's so that they don't become the prey. So what we have done is we have, before we read, we have activated our schema and thought about what we know about the topic of the book, which in this case was alligators. Then while we were reading the book, we thought about new information. We thought about the things that we don't already know that is now going to be added to our schema. So how can you use this with your book? All right. For independent reading, right, I would love for you to pick a nonfiction book from either Get Epic, from your own library at home, or from Reading A to Z, Raz Kids. And I want you to pick a book that you're interested in, whatever topic, whatever nonfiction topic you want. And before you start reading that book, I want you to practice activating your schema. I want you to jot down the things you already know about that topic. You can write it on a piece of paper. You can write it on sticky notes. Then you're going to actually start reading the book. And as you're reading the book, any new information that you're adding to your schema, stop and add it to the schema that you already did before you started reading. And you're going to see that as you read the book, you're going to notice how much more information you gain. That's what schema is all about. We are constantly adding to our schema with every show we watch, with every book we read, with every person that we are around that teaches us about something. We are growing our schema. We are making those folders bigger and bigger. Right? Something else that I'm going to also do is I'm going to be giving a reading response for nonfiction. I'm going to post a list of options that you can choose from, no particular order, whichever one you want. And while you are doing independent reading, after you read a nonfiction book, no matter what our lesson was, I want for you to choose a response to do to go along with that book, just so that we don't get out of practice of writing about our reading and thinking about what we've read. It's not just reading the books, but also thinking about what we've read. All right, guys, so that's it for today. Let's go ahead and get that schema activated. All right, find some awesome nonfiction books to read. Get Epic is a great site, and so is Reading A to Z. And even on Get Epic, I'll show you right now so that you can see. On Get Epic, you can choose your level. So it's a range. So you guys are going to probably want between 16 to 24. Some of you will be ready for this one. Some of you are on 8 to 14. So you choose the range that works best for you. So you're not reading books that are too hard or too easy. All right. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.